Branding was pretty tough. We changed the logo, we changed the color scheme, we changed everything. I think business-wise, it was a good decision. But transitioning-wise, it's a bad decision. My dad had a lot of emotion tagged to the business because he's the one who drew the logo. He's the one who created the logo. He's the one who designed the logo. It was only after a few years after the change that we realized that, hey, this logo thing actually means a lot to my dad. We had many other conflicts. A lot of the conflict came up because of different in values. I think it is important to know that your parents, they are a product of their time. Yeah, and a lot of times we don't know what they have gone through. It's easy to comment when you're the outsider or when you come in with a fresh set of eyes, like, oh yeah, why things are done that way? With that kind of empathy, then maybe whatever ideas or whatever you're presenting in a more gentle and kinder way in taking over a family business.
Welcome back to TFC Business Show. I'm your host, Reggie, aka your Chief Financial Coconut. Today, I'm alone in studio, no Judson with me, but I personally invited this team, okay? Because I saw the viral video. As simple as it is, right?
Yes.
I don't think it's lucky. The video went out. I was like, oh my God, these people are so crazy, right? They want to take over a family's business, and then they go to the extent of like traveling to, was it the US?
Yeah, the
US to learn how to do this whole dry cleaning thing. I was like, wow, very extras, yeah. I need to talk to them. like what's the thought process? How has it been? And all that. So I'm very excited to introduce you to Wei Tian from Presto Drycleaners. Yeah, for our audience that somehow didn't see that viral video, don't know about you guys yet. Can you just introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Wei Tian. Thank you very much for having me. I'm the second generation owner of Presto Drycleaners. I used to be a software engineer, and now we are taking over trying to create the most technologically advanced dry cleaner in the world.
Who in the right mind would leave technology to do dry cleaning? You gotta tell me a little bit about that.
I joined the business 8 years ago. Yeah, and it was more of a sense of duty. My parents started the business in 1992. And so it has been about 30 plus
33
years. Yeah, 30 plus years. And when you grow up in that environment where you see how the business grow, as the business expanded, having more and more shops, then you think like, okay, the business has given us so much. Because we started off not from a well-off family. They started off from a small little shop house. And in some ways, it's like you don't want to see everything go to waste. Yeah, you don't want to see everything go to waste. So then it's that sense of duty of wanting to take over the business to have that continuity. But also, after taking over, then you realize that you have a lot of sense of, after a while, you get the sense of autonomy, which I really enjoy. Like you get to change whatever you want in the business, but that's after a few years.
Okay, so there must be some sort of a push-pull to this thing, right? So why did you leave that? And where was your tech job, if you don't mind?
So I was doing, at one point in time, I was doing my own startup with my friends. They are still running it, 1314. So it's a wedding photography platform. So they're doing really, really well. And then basically my parents needed some help. So then I came back to help with the software IT. Started in the software IT issues. Then after that, we continue running. Then that's where I'm at now.
Okay. And when you take over, you say that you don't want it to waste. That means it was dying at first.
No,
it was at the crossroads.
No,
what was happening? 8 years back, right? When you first joined, what was the state of the business?
The state of the business, it was doing well. We actually had more outlets than we have now. I think at that point in time, there were 16 outlets. Now we have 12.
So 8 years ago, when you take over the business, elaborate like how you started this thing, like how did that process kind of begun?
Right. So start off in the IT side first, solve the software problems. Then
who asked you to come in? Your dad. Your dad asked you to come in, say, hey, I got this IT problem I need to solve. Boy, you join me like that.
Something like that, yeah, along that line. That's
on what basis did he think about this IT problem? There must be some situation, right?
So my dad wasn't a software engineer or anything. So he needed someone with understanding of IT, of software, in order to help with the bridging. They wanted to start up in the point of sales. So previously it was all manual. Then he needed like someone to, in some way, have the trust and confidence in, having this new project. Because going from manual to point of sales, barcoding, it's a huge change. And that was in some way scary.
It's true. So essentially, Papa had consumed too much of the Go Digital content. Believe in that whole digital, taking the business to the next level type of thing, right? Okay. Can you share with us a little bit more about like that bit then when you came in, you do the business, what were you doing and all that? Yeah.
So we did the IT portion. So I mean, we also had a software vendor to help us, and then basically I was still studying then. I was in SMU. Yeah, so then...
You did this whole thing while you're still studying?
In some ways, you are put into the family business from a very young age. Even when I was like way little in primary school, I was helping with the full clothes and stuff like that. That's my holiday job.
Okay.
So then it got into, I think we were transitioning
it's
to
such a family business.
It is.
It is. Okay.
So I got put in the software engineering side when I was in SMU. Then after that, I went out to work a little. And then after that, got other software issues. Then I came back in, and then we solved the software engineering issues. And then after that, I started myself in the customer service side. So handling calls, handling complaints, then as well as working at the outlet. So the front end was something of the business was something I'm more comfortable and more familiar in. So we always start with the one that you're more comfortable and more familiar. There's no roadmap of saying like, oh yeah, this is the takeover plan. You start here first, then like how you climb a career ladder. It doesn't work that way in family business. In some way, you get to chart your own learning. But then if like it fails, it's also on you lah.
Okay, fair. So at what point did you feel like so you're leading the business now, right? Yes. The family, you've taken over. Now you are the big boss of the team essentially, right? It's okay. You will grow into that term, right? Eventually, give you a bit more time, yeah? But at what point in that transition that you feel like, I'm leading this thing now?
Only recently. Yeah, it's only recently.
After you went viral. I think 可以了啦.
A little before we went viral. So we had a transitioning phase where, because what happened was 一山不可以有二虎. Okay, so you cannot have two groups of very strong leaders trying to lead the family business. And there was lots of conflict between me and my parents. Yeah, like everyone wants the best for the business, but the path on how to get there is different. And there's no one right way to say which is the better way.
What was the toughest conflict?
Branding was pretty tough. So we made a change to the whole brand, I think in 2019. I think 2019 was when we made a change. We changed the logo, we changed the color scheme, we changed everything. At that time, I thought it was a good decision. I think business-wise, it was a good decision. But transitioning-wise, it's a bad decision. My dad had a lot of emotion tagged to the business. 30 plus years of emotion. I mean, we came in with a lot of passion, a lot of drive, a lot of energy wanting to change, make the business better. At that point in time, all 12 outlets, they had a different color scheme, like they had like different shade of yellow, different shade of blue. And why is that so? Because their main focus was on costing. So every time we find the most affordable contractor. The most affordable contractor, you don't set your color palette, you just tell them yellow and blue. So then every single store, different yellow, different blue. Correct? Then after that, when you work with landlords, the landlord will tell you like, this one doesn't look very nice. I want you to add this. Every single landlord also add their own stuff. So every single shop doesn't look very consistent lah. And even though it's yellow and blue, it doesn't look very nice. So, and then things will like sometimes like why this, have this particular, just, it doesn't look professional. So we came in, we were like, okay, lowest hanging fruit. Right? Lowest hanging fruit. Let's change. Standardize. Yeah, okay. Get a branding consultant, get a branding agency, then design. Wow, then we saw the logo. Very nice. We really like this logo. even for us at that time to accept the new logo was a big thing for us because it looks different. And every time when there's change, people don't understand how difficult change is. Like if it doesn't belong to you, change is very easy. When it belongs to you and you're the one making the call, making the decision, it is so difficult. So much falls on your hands. You don't know whether it will work, it won't work. And if it doesn't work, at what point do you want to roll back? And you're like, ugh, that feeling. So my mom, on the other hand, was very forward-looking. So she's like, okay, yes, she can understand from a business point why we needed to do this. So she's like, okay, go ahead. After that, when we make the change, like, okay, everyone, okay, then very good, everything. But it was only after a few years after the change that we realized that, hey, this logo thing actually mean a lot to my dad. Because he's the one who drew the logo. He's the one who created the logo. He's the one who designed the logo. Then it's like, wow. We had a lot of back and forth when we did this rebranding exercise.
So when you guys were pushing through, you didn't realize how important it was.
I was naive.
Okay.
It was like, because I come from a very logical point of view, like, hey, better for the business, do it lah. Very logical, better for the business, consistent, everyone, then just rebrand, looks very nice. For us, yeah, especially like now you have so many other brands, no one know who you are, you want to set your name. People always remember, oh, I used the laundry at the dry cleaner at Paragon. But do you know the name of the dry cleaner? You don't. No one actually remembers the name. How do you get your name out? Yeah, so I just remember that I go to the food store at so-and-so market, but then you don't remember the name of that food store. It's like a commodity, but we wanted to step away from that.
And then at what point do you realize that it meant so much?
After we went for therapy. My therapist told me.
Like the family went for therapy together?
Me and my mom. We had many other conflicts. So, I mean, a lot of the conflict came up because of different in values. So my parents, they grew up they are a product of their time. They grew up in a time where money is very, very important, and they're very prudent with their finances. Me, on the other hand, I grew up in a time where my parents were a little better off, and then I see the value of basically paying a little more and getting things to last. Yeah. So like, yes, it's a little more expensive, but it's worth it. So that's when sometimes we have differing opinions. We had so many fights around. Like if you boil it down, it boils down to this. And it can go from simple thing like, oh yeah, why do you even order this pen from this particular person? Like small little things. So it's like couples fighting. You don't fight. Your fights comes up because of like small little things, but it actually goes back. If you dig deep, it goes back down to values. And how we got to that point to finally realize is because my mom and I decided, let's go for therapy lah.
How did y'all even decide on that?
How did we decide on that? Wow, that's okay. So my wife is also in the business. So my mom and dad are in the business. So you have like intergenerational, like super complicated.
Do you all stay under one roof?
No, we don't stay under one roof.
Back then, was it under one roof?
No. Yeah, but we made a very conscious decision to not stay under one roof.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that adds to the complexity,
yes,
right? And your story, as much as you are being very vulnerable, sharing so much, it's not unique. A lot of second gen go through the same shit. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, thanks for going there, and please continue.
Yeah, so my wife and I we went for therapy together to talk about the difficulty we have with my parents. So that's how it started. And then after that, my therapist said, hey, I think you should, have your mom in the picture lah. So then my mom came in to me. So it's just me and my mom. So it started because both of us having problems, the younger generation having problems with the older generations. And then we got that. We continued talking, and then we figure out like, okay, what's the differences? And I think the initial thought of going for therapy was between the generations. But during the therapy session, we found out that it's actually pretty healthy for couples to go for therapy because we realized how to work through our differences as well. So it helped between husband and wife. And then that's after that, through the therapy session with my mom, then I many sessions actually. Then we found out that this logo thing was a bad decision in the front of the emotional part.
It could have been dealt with better.
You could have
right?
dealt with more thought,
more finesse to this thing.
more care. Yeah, you should. I think one thing that I learned is family business. It shouldn't be such a logical or decision. You cannot make a decision from a corporate standpoint. It has to come from the point of like, how do I tell it to you nicely with more tactfully and for you to accept it, rather than like, this is how it is. It's like, yeah, it's better for the business. Why don't you want to do it? Then it becomes like versus you. If I did redo it again, you probably like, oh yeah, I know how much this logo means to you. I know how much it means to you. But 30 years, then you sit on it. Then maybe you don't do it in a office setting.
It's not the first thing you come in and change, right?
Yeah. Probably build up some credibility a lot or in other ways. Then you finally like, okay, this is the last thing I would want to do. Then I do it.
Thank you. Thanks for being vulnerable. What held it together then?
Wow.
Because it sounds like you can just like, we're done with this, You can walk. It's not like you have nothing outside, you can do something outside.
I think many second, third gen would relate to this. Like everyone had their moments where they want to throw letter.
You can put in the comment section now. Yes, you can use anonymous your second account. It's okay.
Yes. Yeah. So I had my moments where I wanted to throw letter. Like what's all this for? Yeah, like everyone was really like, wow, why work so hard? Like you really put in so much effort, Like you really like, wow, you really put yourself out there, and then there's so much hanging on like you. And I think that the best part about working in a family business, when you have people in your team that is family business or family members, is that you know that they are giving their best. I will never second guess whether my wife is giving her best for the family business. I mean, if she's not giving her best, then she wouldn't be in a family business already. But yeah, when you're in a family, you will give your best. And the thought process that everyone's giving their best, but you have all these differences. And then you have your 30 years of being together as a family that held it together.
Okay. That is very fair. But you also talk a little bit about credibility building, right? And that's a very big part of family business, right? You want the previous generation to pass to you. They need to trust you. They need to know that you are the right guy. You may be the only guy in the family. I don't know the family, but you have to be the right guy, right? So that whole cred building exercise is very important, especially as much as in corporate. I think in family businesses, it goes up one level above, right? Because like you've established, the business goes beyond money terms. There's a whole identity around this. There's 我们白手起家, there's nothing, we made this work. Now I want to pass this thing to you. You jolly well get your shit together, right? Yes. So this credibility thing, I would even argue, is priced even higher in a family business. And would you say that is why you went on this crazy journey to go and learn this whole thing?
That's another story. Another story.
How did you, from your optics today, right? How did you look at building this whole credibility thing?
So why I decided to go US to learn about dry cleaning was a simple, to just dial things down, is I couldn't learn from my mom. Presto has been in the business for 30 plus years. And she learned dry cleaning through experience. So at that point in time, when she was learning dry cleaning, there wasn't any schools or any formal education. And she did it through years of experience. And it's just, the way I describe it is, imagine you have a head chef. Yeah, 自茶 restaurant. The way that they learn is like,
agar-agar.
Yeah, agar-agar. And how can you pass this agar-agar knowledge, this tacit knowledge, to the second or third gen? You can't. Whenever she do it, she's like, oh yeah, just mix this thing, mix this and this. Okay, just add it together, just wait. Can on. And there's always a case, right, when I do it her way, and then she said that I can't do it. I get frustrated because I'm following exactly what you are doing. But then when it comes to her, come, let me show you. Done. Nah. Then I said, but I did whatever you just did just now. Why cannot? Yeah, but I mean, there's some form of skills involved, but I'm not able to see. And then there's that level of conflict again, not being able to understand like why you do things, what you do. So then I decided, okay, I need to go somewhere. I work better in a structured environment. Then we hit to US to learn. So it was a very intensive 3 weeks in Maryland.
Why Maryland? Why US?
The school, that was the only school that we found that would teach dry cleaning. Yes.
In Maryland.
In Maryland.
Of all places.
Of all places.
The whole world got this one school in Maryland.
Yes.
Teach dry cleaning. What's the name of the school?
DLI, Dry Cleaning and Laundry Institute. DLI. I know the short form is called DLI.
Okay, shout out to DLI.
Yeah.
Okay.
The school was great. They teach the fundamentals. They explain to you the science behind it.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at you. I'm just very bemused that there's this one school that teach. Yes. Okay, yes, please continue.
And it was only a week before I fly that I realized that Maryland is really near Baltimore and their homicide rate is really high. And at the time I had 2 kids, then I was like, oh wow, tired.
High risk.
High risk.
Lifelong learning, very high risk.
High risk. But we still went and everything went well. Yeah, it's good.
Okay, so what do you pick up there? How is it different from what you guys...
So
because you after you pick it up, you want to make it into a system for sure, right?
Yes.
So how did that before after look like?
So you kind of know like why. So whatever my mom was doing was right. But
girls figured it out, right? You know?
But they were able to explain the science behind it, like the pH, alkaline level, like why the tannins for what are you supposed to use for this type of stains. They were able to categorize the stains, rather compared to my mom who is like specific. Oh, lipstick is this. No, they categorize oil base. You know, like there's more categorizations. Or this grass stain, no, this tannins, grass and wine comes from plant base. Oh yeah, makes sense. So they had that kind of science behind it. Then they talk about the fibers, the fabrics, or whether is it a wool animal base, then so things like this. And it helps for especially going through the Singapore education system. You're built in a very structured... You don't go through apprenticeship in Singapore. You go through, poly, you go through JC, then you realize that, so I
read the formula, understand the theory.
Understand the theory, then you have practical, Then, so that's the environment I thrived in. Then,
Okay. And what else do you do in terms of this credibility building exercise before you take over?
So then we took over the operation side.
So right after you came back,
then we start implementing. We start taking over operations, and we also reorganize. Promote from within. Have managers. Last time, everyone used to report to my mom. Yeah, she's the one controlling everything. That meant like she couldn't go on leave. Yeah, very, very traditional family
all the
business.
problem goes to the matriarch. Yes.
But it's also, you do see some good part because everything goes to her. The quality is good. The quality is really high. But once you pass it, you start having, managers and stuff. Sometimes things slip. Then when things slip, how do we catch it? Then it's about creating systems, creating processes, then slowly systemizing. So we are still in the process of making things better.
Okay, fair. Congrats on successfely taking over.
Thank you.
And still keeping the family together.
Yes.
It's not easy, huh?
It's not
easy. Maybe share with me a little bit more, right? So as an outsider, how does this business work, right? This dry cleaning business, what is the kind of like broad things that happen?
So in a dry cleaning business, we are in the business of trust. So as long as you trust the dry cleaner...
Learn from some branding thing, right? We're in the business of trust.
No. It is true. If you only trust, you only go to a dry cleaner because you trust them. And from time to time, even though we see ourselves, we are very much like the manufacturing industry. Because even though we are in the service industry, when you send an item for washing, it goes through a manufacturing process, a cleaning process. And even though you can be like 99% right, when that 1% fail, it's very, very painful. Because that 1%, my 1%, it's your 100% of your item. And then I need to have a very difficult conversation with the customer because the amount of the expectations that you have of the compensation, I can never meet that expectations. How can I $8 to wash a $800 LV t-shirt? how to have that conversation. And that is something very difficult. So a lot of times people change dry cleaners because the damage has been done, and then you find they look for someone else. And it's a probability game. It's a probability game. So it's like, very thankfully, so far, what we try to do is keep our the damage as low as possible. And we track that. So coming from software engineering, you make sure you track
Your churn, your
your matrix, all your metrics, you make sure you track that on a weekly basis, you see what's happening.
So what do you track?
We track our complaints. That's one. So we have a complaint log. We check. So from the complaint log, we boil down like where it comes from, whether it comes from the counter, whether it comes from the phone, whether it comes from our SMS notification system, anywhere it comes from, all goes into a simple log. Then from there, we see what kind of types of complaints we have. We have service level complaints. Then my outlet manager will be the one talking to the counter staff, telling them, hey, you shouldn't have said this, or you shouldn't have done that, in their weekly counter visits. If it's a processing ironing problem, then we will have talk to the processing team. Same thing. We'll tell them that, hey, so and so things happen. We have the item. If the customer do send it back to us, we'll show it to them. Hey, this is not acceptable. But we also have to ascertain whether is it our fault? Could it be the manufacturer fault? So this, and CCTV helps a lot. So we have to have CCTV. We have to watch. We have a whole investigation process. Yeah, you have to do a lot of homework.
Yeah, that's already quite advanced, I think, from a tech.
But we are trying to make it better. We are trying to increase accountability. So there are times when things goes into one whole batch of dry cleaning or washing machine. We are not able to tell specifically who's the one putting in yet, or who is the one checking the item. So there are still small little things that are not done up to the standard we want. And that's something we are improving.
Okay, fair. But all your team members, do they all think like that? Because my imagination of dry cleaner is this very cute auntie, that will be, 你要做什么?
Yes. Yes.
So I just want to hear, you have all these big, like systems and tags, SOP, right? How do you translate all the way to everybody?
So we try to make it as...
The word is try. Huh?
Yeah, we try. We always try. We can't expect everyone to work at our level. Last time meaning like 8 years ago, when we first joined, we came in with unrealistic expectations. Over the years, unrealistic expectations meaning we expected a lot. And then we had our own fair shares of people leaving because of the expectations we have. And then we were like, yeah, come on, wow, I want to change the world. And then you have people leaving. And then we realized that that's not sustainable.
That was probably a friction point with the family also, right? Because they kind of built the business together.
Yes, they built the business together. Yeah, so we had our own fair. So now it's a case where we learned that how fast the team move is actually dependent not on you, but on the slowest player in your team. So then the question is, okay, this slowest player, because a lot of our team members, they are from the mature age group, and trying to get them to change takes time. And then it's about giving them the direction. As long as they are moving in the right direction, that is good enough for me.
Yeah, fair. I think it's recently I watched the show called Moneyball. Have you watched it? It's a baseball thing, and then
statistics, right?
Statistics, right? And then I was like, yeah, this is exactly the game that a lot of small businesses are playing. Your capex is stacked, because your competitors have much deeper pockets.
Yes.
They have the A team, and then you are left with whatever you can get, and you are trying to compete with them.
Yes.
So your system is very important.
Yes.
Much more than going head on, end to end with them. And there are so many cases where a quote unquote inferior team, right? If you put everybody's stats together, your team is technically not as good as the other team, but because of how you organize everyone together, you won the game, right? There's so many examples, and I think that's the bit that a lot of leaders need to understand, right? Especially when you come from corporate or you come from like those big tech, right? They can pay top dollar. They get the best people. Don't even need to spend much time. It's like, we're going to do this. I was like, oh yeah, okay, I get it. Immediately they understand, right? But then when you join the SME game, then you are dealing with whoever you can have and whoever that's part of the team, and it's just what it is, right? And you can even argue that if you can't manage the team properly, you are at fault. You are not real.
That's something I really enjoy. It's like, yes, you're responsible for everything. The buck stops at you. But it's also because of some of the decisions you get to make, that autonomy, that it's really fun.
In what sense?
You're responsible for everything. Whatever you want to change the culture, you want to change the people, you want to change the processes, you want to change the IT system, everything's your call. Then if you're not doing it, why? So you're responsible solely for the success and the failure of your business. I think being a owner in some sense, it gives you the most autonomy. But then again, it's like, how do you break up? It's like you're dealt a set of cards like poker, right? Then how do you play your cards?
Yeah. Fair. So how are you trying to break up? What have you tried? Because we talk about updating your systems, doing the branding, going for systemizing your back end and everything. All those are great, right? Because you don't do those things, you can't go further, right? But those things objectively, they don't really move the needle in big ways, right? So at least most businesses will think of like, oh, we're going to start a new product line. We're going to try this new other thing. What have you tried so far?
The biggest thing I've tried is putting myself out there. And I think that it was a big risk.
Whole social media thing.
The whole social media thing. And the reason I did it was I didn't want to regret. If someone else did it first, then you're like, could have been me, I didn't want that feeling. Then I was like, okay lah, just try. And it was very scary at the start because just now, the part about complaints was one of the key thing that was holding us back. Because we never know what it will happen if we put ourselves out there. The simple one is you look at any F&B. Like whenever they have the reviews and then the people like, wow, the 1 stars, on Google, then people complain like, oh yeah, bad service. And then for us, in F&B, if let's say, for example, anything goes bad, I can say, okay, I give you a new bowl of ramen. I can give you a new bowl.
I can't give you a new $800 t-shirt.
I can't give you an $800 t-shirt. And sometimes it's really true that it's us. It might have been us. Then how do I actually breach that expectation?
So by putting your face out there, you're taking on that personal risk, to be seen as, that's the guy,
yeah,
right? Okay. It will score your 祖宗18代. Okay.
That was scary.
And then how do you overcome that?
Didn't want to regret. It was more of a push factor than pull. It wasn't like, oh, I want to, make myself very famous or anything. No, it wasn't that. It was just that I didn't want to regret.
Okay, fair. It's like how in the past, the Chinese brands, actually not just the Chinese brand, actually a lot of the Malay brands also, they will put the ancestor's face at on the package.
Right.
So
yes.
that is their way of saying, I put my ancestor's face to pledge that this is gonna be good. We'll control it. I've learned this much later. So, like that also can. But
yes.
That's interesting. I mean, different era got different.
Yes.
So now social media is that thing. I put my face in front so you know who I am. Anything you come after me. Okay. But any other business expansion strategy? Do you all try other BUs? Try other, strategy? Do laundromat?
No, we didn't go into the whole laundromat thing. Okay. Yeah, we didn't. We're not. I think a lot of times in business, it's important to focus.
It doesn't work in your point of view, the laundromat business.
We don't see how is it, because we do run a laundromat. It's at Bukit Timah Plaza.
Oh wait, you have a laundromat?
We have one.
Okay,
just one.
That's the only one that survives.
The only one
that makes sense, is it?
No, that's the only one we have because of the unit size. The size of the unit is very big. So it's the unit for most of our units, because in Singapore, retail rental is expensive. Our unit size ranges from 150 to maybe about 200 plus, very, very small.
Most laundromats are very small.
Yeah. And then the one...
No, most dry cleaners are very small. The storefront is just like, what you want? Okay, yes. Then they'll bring to the back. Then I don't know what happened at the back. A few days later, I'll come back and say, okay, howler. Then the thing will appear. That's it. You don't know what's going on. Yeah.
Then in the case of Bukit Timah Plaza, the store is a lot bigger. So we needed to think what else to do with the stores. So that's when we had a few, washer and dryers. So even for the washer and dryers, it took us more than 3, 4, 5 years to break even on the machines. That's the only store we have in a laundromat. And that one doesn't for us is not our focus. Our main focus is still in laundry and dry cleaning.
Okay. So the laundromat business doesn't work.
We don't see it. We don't see it. But maybe if you are running a laundromat in some of the dormitories, that would make sense.
There's a volume.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense because
yeah.
everyone in your dormitories will only use that laundromat. Then that one I think makes sense.
Okay.
But some of them, when it's under the HDBs and stuff, we don't see it.
Yeah. I also don't understand how they make it work, but yeah.
Someone need to be there counting, and then maybe they can work out the numbers.
Maybe we should do a documentary on this, right? Do something that okay. Then do you try other business?
Other business, we tried retail during COVID. That didn't work out. Yeah, I mean it's
what retail? What can you retail?
So we sell soap. We sell laundry detergent.
Bro, try everything.
Yeah, we tried. I mean, during COVID, you have to try. And I think a lot of times we were I am very thankful for COVID that happened, that made the transition from first gen to second gen a lot faster.
In what sense?
If not, it wouldn't have happened. Because my parents, at that point in time, COVID, nothing was working. Then my parents like, okay, for you to try, whatever you want to try, just try. Yeah, it's like you hit rock bottom, couldn't get any worse. Yeah, then that's when you can do whatever you want to do.
It's true. So when things are not so good, everything is on the table.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, fair. Yeah, I mean, like it's the same with us. We are the beneficiary of COVID. Yeah. So it is what it is. Okay, fair. So then, what are your plans going forward? Then what are your priorities? What do you aim for?
I guess we are just trying to improve our QC. Yeah, I think a lot of times is to improve the operations, improve the systems.
So there's no expansion plan, is it? Like you just want to improve the systems at this.
Expansion in terms of maybe having a couple more outlets, or maybe try to see home collection is something we're also looking at. Making sure that we can go to your house to do a pickup and then deliver it back to your house. That's something that we are not very strong. We are very strong in the retail side, but we are not very strong in the home pickup side. That's something we are looking to improve.
That is a great user experience.
Yeah, so we're looking to improve that. Yeah, but overseas expansion maybe, but like one thing about being a dry cleaner is that when you expand, when you go to another country, the capex is very high. The dry cleaning machines, the boilers, the ironing machines, then starting that whole thing up, then you have to ask yourself, do you really want to do that?
How much will you need?
A simple dry cleaning machine can cost everything from 50 to 100K. Just one dry cleaning machine. It's just like a washing machine. Just that instead of washing with water, it washes with solvent. And then you need a boiler. So then the boiler will power the whole factory. Then you have, so it's
How
a different...
How many machines do you have then?
20, 30... No, but not dry cleaning machine. So you have, includes ironing board.
All the other things. Okay.
Other stuff. So you need dry cleaning, you need a washing, you need couple of ironing boards. The ironing boards that we have at homes are different from the one you have. It blows up and it vacuums. That's how you iron. Different. You have a foam finisher.
Probably in one of your videos, right?
Yeah.
You can go and check out the videos here.
Yeah. So you have a foam finisher, for the jacket. You have depending on size, you have a sorting machine, you have a packing machine. So you have multiple equipments.
Okay. So and that's the capex that you have to consider.
So it's when you are in the dry cleaning business, it's really about playing the long game. Yeah. It's not like, you can be in the business for 2-3 years, like, a very F&B or quick service.
F&B jialat.
Yeah, but the runway is like 3 years. Make sure that you are viral, make the money, then ciao. Right? That's the game I see for F&B. Yeah, but in dry cleaning, you're looking at many
So
years.
In my head, based on what you're saying, essentially your supply chain will look like there's one main factory that runs everything. The rest are your service support touch point.
Yes.
Right? Your retail touch point. People come, hello. Then they collect everything. Then you have some sort of a delivery system that send to HQ. HQ will do everything and then sort it out and send back. That's kind of the system. Okay. And that's why you want to do the delivery pickup. I think that makes sense, right? From a standpoint. Okay, Ken. Thank you. I appreciate it. I love the story and then some of the business insights. Any last words for our listeners? Thinking of taking over their family business or starting their own. Any thoughts for them?
I think for anyone in a family business. I think it's important to know that your parents they are a product of their time. Yeah, and a lot of times we don't know what they have gone through, and to have that, it's easy to comment when you are the outsider or when you come in with a fresh set of eyes, like, oh yeah, why things are done that way? But I think to have more empathy for them, and then with that kind of empathy, then maybe whatever ideas or whatever you are presenting in a more gentle and kinder way would be a lot better in taking over a family business.
Fair. I think that's very fair. Best don't stay under one roof.
Yeah. Don't stay under, not staying under one roof.
At least a different floor.
Have kids.
Yeah, have kids. Okay.
Have kids help.
Yeah, Kong Kong will feel a bit more neutral when play
like
the kid.
it takes their mind off things.
Not just that conversation last week, right? You're telling me, 为什么又要 change 这个东西? Right? Okay, fair. I'll leave that for the family.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for having.
I hope all of you enjoyed today's episode. I definitely enjoyed it. If you would like to stay updated for what the Financial Coconut has to cover, head over to thefinancialcoconut.com to put your email address so that we can route out the algorithm. Don't need to always do cringe videos, you know. And we can get to you straight, you know, when we have an event or when we update any new pieces of content. Meanwhile, take care. That's all for today's TFC Business Show. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.